Despite a career year in 2019, Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott couldn't reach a long-term deal with the franchise before the July 15 deadline for doing so. On Wednesday, both Jerry and Stephen Jones were asked about those negotiations.
We think he's outstanding. We think he's our quarterback of the future. We just couldn't get together at this particular time. I think it's easily worth noting that a lot of people this year in the franchise mode didn't get together. One of the biggest reasons is the backdrop of the COVID. One of the biggest reasons is the economic issue. I've just spent weeks and weeks, a part of this rasped voice on the phone, talking with NFL and the Players Association, weeks and weeks working through the economic consequences. And candidly, nobody knows what's going to be there next year, or the next year. And frankly, we all know that what we were talking about in Dak's case was the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year. So all of that came to bear, and this was just a less than stable time to be talking about serious, generational, if you will, to use Dak's term, dollars in an unknown period of time looking forward.
Everybody was pretty much aware at the end of the day that, the term of the deal was a big part of this. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the way we think about Dak. Dak and I had a great visit right there at the deadline. He's so fired up about this team, about this season, and about our future. And we ultimately know that we're going to have to figure out how to get this done. I'm more convinced than ever that we will get it done, but because of the moving parts that we were dealing with the virus, of course, you throw in some other deals that were done, which were certainly not down the middle in terms of being normal or a normal contract. It just made for some challenges.
That's both Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, and I have a ton of respect for what the Jones family has done for the Cowboys in the National Football League. I talk to Stephen at least once a year on PFTPM. I enjoy visiting with him. Again, a ton of respect, and this is all the setup for me to say I don't buy any of what was just played. Chris, here's the bottom line. They resisted and have consistently resisted offering Dak Prescott the kind of contract he wants, and they have believed at the end of the day he would buckle and agree to the deal that they want him to take. And he has continued to say no, no, and no. And it keeps getting more and more and more expensive. And the idea that it's difficult or impossible to structure a long-term deal in this climate, well, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder next year to give Dak Prescott $37.68 million under the franchise tag if the salary cap drops to $175. And by rule, that's what he's going to get. Unless they go back in and change the CBA over the rules for paying a franchise tag player in year 2 when he gets a 20% raise over what he got in year 1, it's $37.68. It would have been easier to do a long-term deal with the 4-year extension that he has consistently asked for, not 5 years. It would have been a lot easier to do that than to put yourself in a spot where you're paying him $31.4 this year, $37.68 next year, and facing a future in 2022 where you don't know what's going to happen. $45 million, $54 million, or out the door. That's what's looming in about 18 months for Dak Prescott and the Cowboys if they don't work this out next year, and they should have worked it out long before right now.
Well, yeah, they should have. There's no doubt about that. I mean, they should have got him in a bargain deal a year ago. They could have saved themselves a whole lot of money. I mean, I think you and I discussed that many times. Yeah, they're in a dangerous spot right now. There's no doubt. Whether it's the franchise tag next year, whether it's the fact that, hey, Dak Prescott's really freaking good, and I do believe the Cowboys love him. I do, and they think he's the franchise quarterback, and they want to pay him. I don't deny that either. I mean, I think they really do. I also agree with what you said, Mike, and I've heard this from people in the know, that, yeah, I think they're a little caught off guard by, how strong Dak Prescott has stood here as far as in negotiations. I think they thought that he at some point would just kind of settle for that somewhat of a team-friendly deal because he's such a team guy and such a leader that way, and he's very humble, and it comes off right away when you're around.
Where's the side eye? Control room. Where's the Dak Prescott side eye?
Right.
When Chris said that to him face to face.
Well, that
we've
showed you.
known.
Yeah.
We've known.
We have.
Since early 2019, we've known he wasn't going to play that game.
And what makes
Why didn't the Cowboys figure it out?
Well, what makes it scarier too, well, I know Jerry, he says he watches all the media and he needs to watch me. You watch my podcast, you would have known Dak wasn't going to settle for this deal a while ago. But they're also in danger here. Yeah, there's a side eye, Mike. You love it. No. I don't know if that's whether I said he'll take a team-friendly deal or if I asked him, you're Big Spoon, I'm Little Spoon. I'm not so sure which one I got the eye on.
that was you seem like a guy who isn't real selfish and will take a team-friendly deal, and that's when he did that.
Yeah, right. So, but what's scary too, Mike, and I think you'll agree, is statistically this year in a new offense, CeeDee Lamb to go with Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup and Ezekiel. They could be like the greatest show on turf this year. They could be that type of team. High flying, ball everywhere. Dak Prescott throws for 4,900 yards and 40 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And whoa, is the price going to go up? So, yeah, obviously there was that argument over the 4th and 5th year of the deal. The Cowboys wanted 5. Dak Prescott wanted 4. We haven't really heard what kind of numbers Dak Prescott has asked for. That, to me, we've heard that the Cowboys have offered in that $35 million a year range. I have heard nothing from the other side to say, no, we're kind of asking for this. And then, of course, with Stephen Jones at the end there says, there's another contract, the Mahomes contract. He was, I think, acknowledging that, right, Mike, to go, damn, that threw us a curveball and everything, and that's why we are where we are.
But Dak wouldn't have taken the Mahomes contract.
No, I know.
I don't know if the Cowboys would have offered the Mahomes contract.
No, yes, I know.
The cash flow over the first 3 years is embarrassingly low. The signing bonus is embarrassingly low. The full guarantee at signing is embarrassingly low. Other than that, it's a good contract. Dak Prescott, here's what's great about Dak. He's not affected by the business aspect. He's not going to carry it around in a negative way. If anything, it's just going to motivate him. Back when he signed his franchise tender, my understanding was that he just looked at it and said, look, I did a contract year last year at $2 million. I'll do a contract year this year at $31.4 million, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to show up and I'm going to be at practice and I'm going to bust my ass to be the best quarterback I can be. And then next year takes care of next year when they either give him the long-term deal that he wants or they pay him $37.68 million for 1 year. And the question will be, just like it was this year, what will the Cowboys give him to get him to trade in what he's got next year? $37.68 plus the doomsday scenario for the Cowboys in 2022. It's going to take a lot more next year than this year to get him to trade in his rights under the CB.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.